Greetings and welcome to our in-depth examination of Japan, a nation with a fascinating modern society, a rich past, and a diversified culture. Japan has significantly impacted the world stage, from its economic power to its political landscape. The nation has, however, also had to contend with several difficulties, such as the destruction caused by World War II, the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the tsunami of 2011, and the nuclear catastrophe of Fukushima. In this video, we'll look into these incidents and consider how they affected both Japan and the rest of the world, and how did Japan miraculously recover from all these difficult moments. The economy of Japan has changed significantly during the course of its history. Japan underwent a period of fast economic development and modernization following World War II, emerging as one of the major industrial powers. High levels of government intervention and an emphasis on exports were characteristics of this time period, sometimes known as the Japanese economic miracle. Japan's economy experienced a period of economic stagnation in the 1980s known as the Lost Decade, which was brought on by a few causes, including a real estate bubble, high levels of public debt, and a strong yen. Japan undertook several economic reforms in the 1990s and 2000s to address these problems, including deregulation and the deployment of monetary measures to fight deflation. However, the Tohoku earthquake and tsunami of 2011 and the global financial crisis of 2008 had a detrimental effect on the economy. Japan has recently launched a number of Abenomics economic stimulus policies to encourage inflation and economic growth. The nation's economy is a diversified capitalist, one with sizable public and private sectors. Japan was one of the leading countries involved in World War II, and the war caused immense national suffering. In an effort to increase its territorial holdings in Asia and the Pacific, Japan joined the Second World War in 1941 as an ally of Nazi Germany and Fascist Italy. The nation's military staged several successful offensives, including the assault on the U.S. naval base in Hawaii's Pearl Harbor. However, as the war's momentum swung away from the Axis countries in 1942, Japan's fortunes improved. The US and its allies conducted a series of destructive bombing assaults against Japanese cities, which caused severe infrastructure damage and a significant loss of life. To force Japan into giving up, the US unleashed atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945, just as Japan was on the verge of defeat. Japan formally surrendered on 2 September 1945, ending World War II. The war severely affected Japan, which left the nation shattered and its citizens in mourning. Despite these difficulties, Japan would eventually rebuild and recover, becoming among the most affluent and technologically proficient countries in the world in the years to come. The United States launched an atomic bomb on Hiroshima on 6 August 1945, and another on Nagasaki 3 days later, which resulted in a terrible loss of life. The employment of nuclear weapons in the battle for the first and only time occurred with the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which marked a turning point in modern history. By the end of the year, it is estimated that 140,000 people were murdered in Hiroshima and 70,000 in Nagasaki due to the bombings. The bombs had a significant effect on the survivors, known as hibakusha, and their families, and many more people experienced the long-term effects of radiation exposure. By forcing Japan to submit, the bombs ended World War II and paved the way for the creation of the United Nations, the development of nuclear weapons, and the start of the Cold War. It's still debatable whether the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki were essential to swiftly end the war and save lives, or whether they were indiscriminate acts of murder that attacked innocent populations. Whatever one's opinion, the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki serve as a potent reminder of the catastrophic potential of nuclear weapons and the necessity of striving for a future devoid of such weapons. Japan's economic miracle refers to the nation's quick rise from a post-war wasteland to one of the world's biggest and most developed economies. Japan was able to reconstruct its economy and infrastructure after World War II at a record-breaking pace thanks to a mix of government planning, private investment, and technological advancement. Focusing on high-tech industries like electronics and autos allowed the nation to dominate the global economy and establish a reputation for high-quality, dependable products. Japan's economy grew rapidly during the following several decades, becoming one of the largest in the world with a strong emphasis on exports and a highly educated workforce. Japan continues to be one of the world's top economies, and its economic miracle continues to be a source of pride for the nation and its people. This is despite certain difficulties in recent years, such as the consequences of the global financial crisis and the earthquake and tsunami in 2011. A big earthquake and tsunami that hit Japan in 2011 also resulted in a nuclear crisis at the Fukushima Daiichi power facility. One of the most recent natural disasters to hit Japan was the earthquake and tsunami that occurred there in 2011. The 9.0 magnitude earthquake that shook the nation's northeastern shore caused extensive damage and set off a sizable tsunami that raced along the coast, causing havoc. At the Fukushima Daiichi power plant, several damaged reactors resulted in meltdowns and the leakage of radioactive materials into the surrounding environment, creating a nuclear crisis as a result of the accident. Tens of thousands of citizens were forced to leave their homes due to the disaster, which also severely disrupted the economy and raised questions about the safety of nuclear energy. The incident has caused several nations to examine their own disaster planning and nuclear safety measures, since it reminds them of the possible risks linked with nuclear power and the significance of preparation for natural catastrophes. Tokyo had the Summer Olympics in 2020, highlighting the city's resiliency and fortitude in the wake of the catastrophe. The 2020 Summer Olympics in Tokyo, Japan, were a significant occasion for the nation and demonstrated its resilience and strength in the wake of the earthquake and tsunami in 2011. Japan successfully organized the Games, which drew athletes and fans from all over the world, despite the ongoing difficulties caused by the tragedy, including the ongoing cleanup work and the resettlement of relocated citizens. The event received plaudits for its planning, security, and technical innovation, and was viewed as a significant success for the nation and its citizens. Along with giving Japan a platform to share its culture, history, and traditions with the world, the Summer Olympics also helped to raise Japan's name and reputation on the world stage. The 2020 Summer Olympics in Tokyo was a significant turning point for Japan and demonstrated its fortitude and resiliency in the face of hardship. In 2021, monarch Naruhito, who succeeded his father, Emperor Akihito, became the first Japanese emperor to abdicate in 200 years. The abdication of Emperor Naruhito in 2021 was a significant occasion for the royal family and for Japan, since the Japanese imperial dynasty represents the nation's long and proud history. Emperor Naruhito became the 126th emperor of Japan after his father. Emperor Akihito's abdication, the first in more than 200 years, was viewed as a symbol of the nation's dedication to reforming its institutions and a reflection of the changing times in which it found itself. In Japan, the imperial family is highly regarded, and its members are significant figures in both national and cultural affairs. Even though his position is mostly symbolic, and he serves as a cultural and national ambassador, the emperor is recognized as a symbol of continuity and unity. The Japanese people widely observed a significant occasion for the nation, the ascension of Emperor Naruhito. It was also a time for contemplation as the nation remembered its long and illustrious past and looked ahead to a new period of wealth and expansion. With a strong emphasis on education, health, and quality of life, Japan enjoys one of the most excellent standards of living in the entire globe. A highly educated labor force and a strong high-tech sector in the nation have helped it be economically successful. Free and universal healthcare is available to all Japanese citizens, and the nation has a robust social security system that helps those in need. Japan is also renowned for its tidy and secure cities, and the nation has a well-developed transportation infrastructure that makes it simple for citizens to travel and access services. Japan offers a high living level, with a focus on a healthy work-life balance, high-quality education, and a low crime rate. Generally speaking, the nation's high quality of living offers its residents a secure, healthy, and cozy setting to live, work, and raise children. Japan's economy is one of the most significant and most developed in the world, with a heavy emphasis on high-tech companies and a workforce with a high level of education. The nation is a significant player in the world economy, placing a high priority on exports of goods, including machinery, electronics, and cars. Japan's economy is powered by a combination of public policy and private investment, and it is renowned for its cutting-edge technology and innovative products. Japan continues to be one of the world's top economies, and its people enjoy a high quality of life despite some difficulties in recent years, such as the consequences of the global financial crisis and the earthquake and tsunami in 2011. The nation's financial industry is well established, and Tokyo, the nation's capital, is one of the world's biggest financial hubs. Additionally, Japan has a sophisticated healthcare system that covers everyone and a thorough social security system that supports its residents. Overall, the Japanese economy's stability, competitiveness, and innovation make it stand out as a significant player in the world economy. The parliamentary democracy and constitutional monarchy of Japan are renowned for their stability, continuity, and adherence to democratic principles. The Liberal Democratic Party and the Democratic Party are the two main political parties of the nation, which has a two-party system. The LDP ruled for most of the post-World War II era, but the DP has recently made substantial gains and grown into a powerful opposition force. The three branches of the government are the executive, which is led by the Prime Minister, legislative, which includes the National Diet, and judicial, which includes the Supreme Court and various lower courts. The Emperor appoints the Prime Minister, who runs the government and oversees national issues. The House of Representatives and the House of Councillors are the two houses that make up the national parliament, the nation's legislative body. First past the post voting is used to elect members of the House of Representatives, while proportional representation is used to elect members of the House of Councillors. The Supreme Court, the highest court in the land, is a part of the judicial branch, which is in charge of interpreting and upholding the nation's laws. There are 47 prefectures in Japan, each with its own governor and legislature. Administration, education, and public safety are just a few of local government's duties in the nation's political structure. With peaceful handovers of power and a dedication to democratic ideals, the nation has a long history of political stability. Japan is one of the most stable and democratic nations in the world, despite significant difficulties like a growing elderly population and economic pressures. In conclusion, Japan is a distinct and fascinating nation with a vibrant modern society and a rich cultural past that makes you believe it can recover every time and be reborn from its ashes and come back even stronger, no matter the obstacle. Japan is a country of contrasts and contradictions that continues to attract and inspire people worldwide, from its imperial history to its cutting-edge technology. There is something for everyone in this amazing country, whether you are interested in its rich history, thriving economy, or innovative culture. We hope that this video has provided you with a deeper understanding of Japan and that it has inspired you to explore this fascinating culture even further. Thanks for watching till the end, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel for more videos.